Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sassy Pants, wife to Matty the rancher, and I'll be your storyteller today. Welcome to Adventures with Sodak Pete, stories that celebrate the hard work, big hearts, and wide open spaces of ranch life. Out here, every day is an adventure, and we hope that each and every one of you listening can imagine yourself as little Sodak Pete, learning the ropes, getting your hands a little dirty, and helping out where it counts. So grab your boots, tip your hat, and let's see what today's adventure has in store. Sodak Pete, creeks, ponds, and waterfalls. The sun peeked over the hill and warmed the barn roof. I sat on the porch with my coffee, watching the ranch wake up. And all of a sudden, out came Sodak Pete, boots a-thumping, Millie right behind him. They were ready for the day. "Gonna be a hot one," Matty said. Well, Pete grinned, "Then we better find some water." And just like that, he and Millie were off, looking for every puddle, creek, and splashy spot this ranch had to offer. First stop was the red hydrant by the barn, the kind you have to pull with both hands and it whooshes like a mini geyser. Pete filled a metal bucket till it sloshed. Millie tried to bite the stream of water, then gave up and lapped the water from the edge. Pete carried the bucket toward the porch and Millie trotted along beside him. He poured some for the flowers and then he set the bucket down just right. "Here you go, girl," Pete said. Millie drank deep and thumped her tail in the dust. Off they went, following the fence line till the grass got tall and the ground turned squishy. There it was, a skinny little creek wriggling through the pasture. Millie jumped in with a splash and Pete stomped in right after her. They raced along the bank, barking and laughing. Water, sunshine, and cowboy giggles. That's ranch magic right there. Then they followed a cow trail into a cool, shady coulee. Big oak trees leaned over the water. Pete ducked under a low branch. "Shh," he whispered. "This is secret water." The creek gurgled over rocks and roots. Sunlight blinked through the leaves. A turtle plopped. A stick floated by. It was cool, quiet, just right for thinking. Pete pulled off his boots and dipped his toes in the creek. "Whoa, that's cold," he said. Millie flopped down beside him. They didn't talk. They just listened. The birds were chirping. The water was bubbling. Pete leaned back with his hands behind his head and he whispered, "This spot's a keeper." Down a narrow cow trail was the next place they went. Past some brush and burrs, Millie and Pete came to the pond. It was quiet, round, and cozy. It seemed like it had been waiting just for them. Pete crouched near the edge, watching the ripples. Millie tilted her head as a turtle sitting on a rock. Plop! The turtle fell in the water. Millie jumped straight in after it, paws paddling like crazy. Pete laughed so hard he nearly fell in the water too. Then Pete found a smooth spot under a tree, and Millie curled up nearby, tail thumping. The pond shimmered in the sun. The bugs were a-buzzing, the frogs were a-croaking, and the warm breeze blew. Then Pete decided to skip a rock. 1, 2, plop. Then he just sat still, soaking it all in. Pete stuffed his socks in his boots. He gave Millie a pat and he pointed to the hill. "Let's go see what's up yonder," he said. They climbed slow and steady and then they ran for a bit. Their boots were crunching, the sun was beating down. At the top, Pete put his hand on his hip and he waved. "We made it," he said, puffing just a little, staring over the wide, quiet pasture. And there he was, Matty, standing by a big, clean dugout. Pete and Millie scrambled down the hill. Pete hollered, "Howdy!" Matty turned with a grin. "You two find all the water in South Dakota yet?" Pete looked at the long dirt mounds and the calm water in the middle. "What is this, Matty?" "It's a dugout," Matty said. "We made it for the cows. It holds rainwater and stays cool. Cattle can walk right up to the edge and get a fresh drink." Pete gave a slow nod. Looks like this one is working just fine." After saying so long to Matty, Pete and Millie followed the creek out of the pasture. It got skinnier as they went, twisting and dancing through the grass. Then they heard it. Trickle, trickle, splash, trickle, trickle, splash. Around the bend, water tumbled right over a fallen tree and a pile of round crick rocks. It wasn't big, it wasn't loud, but it was cool. "The ranch has a waterfall," Pete hollered. Millie barked with excitement. Pete and Millie settled in by the creek and the waterfall. Pete was on a warm rock and Millie was in the grass. The water spilled over the log, clear and steady. It made the kind of sound you could listen to forever. Kind of like gurgling water filling the bathtub. Kind of like relaxing music trickling into your ears. Pete leaned back, closed his eyes, and he whispered, "Kind of makes you want to take a little nap." Millie let out a soft sigh and she closed her eyes too. After a good long rest, Pete and Millie stood up slow and they stretched. Then they followed the crick a ways, taking the long way back. They could see the barn roof peeking over the hill. They were almost to the ranch yard. Then Pete spotted a wide old mud puddle and lit up. "One last water find," he hollered and jumped right in with his boots. Sploosh! Millie charged in after him, tail wagging and mud a-flying. Boots were soggy, dog was happy, hearts were full. They'd found what they were looking for. Matty was sitting on the porch relaxing. Pete and Millie clomped up to the steps, muddy, soaked, and smiling wide. Matty looked at their boots and he grinned. "Looks like you guys found plenty of water." Pete flopped down beside him and Millie curled up on the porch with a sigh. We all sat there soaking in the end of a good day. Then the stars came out, slow and quiet. Pete and Millie stayed on the porch, tuckered out and happy. Today the water had splashed, rushed, whispered, and cooled. It had done its job and then some. We gave thanks to the good Lord for the gift of water, the joy of exploring, the goodness of ranch life, and the people who make it all matter. Thanks for riding along with us. Sodak Pete and I hope you join us on our next adventure.